All right, we are live. It's the Spin and Backfist MMA show for July 10th, Wednesday, July 10th, pre-UFC Vegas 90-something edition. I don't know. It's
I
the
bet
Rose
it's Denver.
Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez.
Denver.
Oh, it's Denver. Duh, yeah. I keep forgetting because we did just see a fight get added to this card, like just now, and it's because everything on this Denver card is falling apart. I know they say the airport there is cursed. This card has pretty much been cursed since the beginning.
I must say though, I think it's not a bad card from a viewing perspective. Like, could it be better? Yes, but is it the worst card I've ever seen put together? There's some pretty good fights on here. It is a mess of a
especially
card,
after a drought. You get a little drought of UFC, and a card like this starts looking a little better.
Yeah,
I would say I think what it is it's not the greatest card in terms of name value, but I think you're going to see crazy fights. That's what I think. I think stylistically it's matched up well.
I hope so. I hope the crowd adds an aspect to it where, everyone's a little more fired up to fight in front of a sold-out crowd. Denver, hopefully an early arriving crowd as well. They don't get fights all the time, but they are a good fight city. By the way, this episode is brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. We love New Amsterdam. Best in the business, the official vodka of Barstool Sports, the official vodka of UFC, and in our opinion, the official vodka of winning. It's a champion vodka. You match it up against any other vodka, and it's a TKO for New Amsterdam. So whether you're catching the fight at your favorite bar or hanging at home listening to us talk about it, celebrate your wins with the insanely smooth New Amsterdam Vodka. Find your wins with New Amsterdam. Also, I wanted to give an update to the people. If you listen to our post UFC 303 show, I talked about Stipe, that video. He picked me up. He shook me like I was a baby. And I was like, oh my God, my rib is killing me. I might have a rib issue. We're like 12 days later. My rib is killing me. It has not gotten better. I would say it even got worse. Now, I'm not mad at Stipe for this. He could never predict how brittle my bones are. But I do wear it as a bit of a badge of honor at this point. Like, I think Stipe Miocic broke my rib.
Are you going to go to the doctor?
Well, I talked to my sister about it. My sister does x-rays for a living. And I was like, what are we dealing with here? And she's like, it's probably bruised. Like, most likely it's not broken. It's probably a bruised rib or a bruised lung. But you can't do anything for any of that, apparently. It's just like it heals on its own. There's nothing you could do. It's just like rest up, toughen it out. I don't know.
Happy birthday, by the way. Late birthday, Robbie.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I am 26 now, basically 40. Yep. And that was, I spent my birthday. It's like I can't laugh. I can't cough. I can't sneeze. That stuff feels like someone stabbing me in the side. So I spent my birthday trying to avoid all of those things. They say it's like if it's puncturing my lung or my liver or my stomach or something, like I would know. That would be insane. I would feel that. But unless it's doing one of those things, I don't think there's anything a doctor could do for it. So I need like a poster or something like Meatball Molly, torn MCL, Kayla Harrison, sprained AC joint, Stipe Miocic, broken rib. Like, and, I'll exaggerate some of the injuries to make it sound better. But yeah, that, badge of honor.
They really had them. These fighters have really kicked your ass over the years.
Yeah, it's kind of like I made my own bed. I got to lie in it. Like my gimmick is like I'm the nerdy guy. Like, isn't it funny that I'm the UFC guy, me next to these fighters, and then all of a sudden, yeah.
So you want to be really funny if you assaulted me consensually?
Yeah. I've done a lot of videos about that. By the way, I just put the finishing touches on the MMA Mount Rushmore video. It took me a while, but I put graphics on the screen for like every fighter naming their Mount Rushmore. I put like faces on the screen so you could visualize it and stuff. Look out for that. I will be dropping it on all the Spin and Backfist channels tomorrow. Very fun video from International Fight Week, though. Plenty of fighters. I'll tell you the fighters, actually, as a little tease. I got the document here. I got Forrest Griffin in this video, UFC Hall of Famer, Frankie Edgar, new Hall of Famer, Mark Coleman, first heavyweight champ of all time, Pantoja, Joanna, Beneil, Khalil Roundtree, Wonder Boy, Juliana Pena, Jan, tons of great fighters. So look out for that tomorrow. And yeah, we got this Denver card to break down. Any news we want to break down beforehand? Colby Covington's in the friggin' World Series of Poker with Nate right now. I tweeted, I hope Nate kicks his ass.
Yeah, me too. Robbie's rooting for, Jack Bag's rooting for Colby.
Yeah, he's trying to make Nate bust out of a tournament. Yeah.
I would love Colby Covington and Nate to be on the same table. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We've had some fight announcements. Benoit Saint-Denis against Moicano for Paris, September 28th. There's some discussion about as if that is going to be the main event. We're not 100% sure. Obviously, the thought there was going to be a Gane main event, but it doesn't. But it seems as if maybe Gane, we don't what's Gane even doing? Maybe he's just waiting for the winner of Aspinall against Blades, but I feel like he needs to fight before that. But that was a big announcement a few days ago.
I'm sick of Cyril Gane. If I've made that clear on this podcast yet, this guy, like even what you said, I know you're just, I'm not shooting the messenger, but even the thought process of I'm going to wait for the winner. What do you mean wait for the winner? Like, you were offered this fight. He was offered the fight first. He said no. That's why Blades is fighting. Gane is just such, and even I love Dana, but to hear Dana go up there and be like, oh, the best. John Joe beat the best heavyweight. I'm like, Cyril Gane is not the best heavyweight. Francis Ngannou beat him on a torn ACL. John Jones won their first heavyweight fight, chokes him out in 2 minutes. Aspinall would do disgusting things to him. He knew better than to take the fight. Sick of Cyril Gane. But love the BSD Moicano fight. Love both those guys.
That is a great fight. 5 rounds no matter what, right? It's a 5-round fight, even if it's not the main event. Yeah, which is fantastic.
Moicano's camp said they feel like it's going to be the main event.
I do love the idea, Robbie, of a fight that is 5 rounds no matter what. You can be knocked out. You have to fight
no matter
rounds.
what.
No matter
They're
what.
Fighting 5.
It's a 5-round fight. It's either death.
That's honestly, that should have been Conor and Khabib. I know Conor got choked out in the 4th. They should have fought that 5th round.
We had a weird situation with Brendan Allen, who said he was offered a fight against Nasruddin Imavov at UFC Paris. And he said that he would only accept if it was the main event because he's won his last 3 main events. And now that BSD against, look at Ev, he can't believe that it's unbelievable. This is the logic from Brendan Allen's unbelievable. And now that Moicano against BSD is slated as possibly the main event, he won't be accepting the fight. Who does Brendan Allen think he is?
Bingo.
Yeah,
retweet.
Weird.
He lost his last fight and got gifted it.
Yeah.
By Chris Curtis, who Chris Curtis was on a week's notice. The fact that this guy has the gall to be like, I'm main event in Paris or nothing. All right, guess what, pal? You got nothing. Who does I was Jack, I was gonna say exactly what you said. Who the fuck does Brendan Allen think he is? Because whatever he thinks he is, he's not. I don't know. This guy, what is why in the he's saying fight crowd Paris main event or nothing. What do you mean? His wins aren't listen, he's been on a good run, but his wins aren't he hasn't even beat anyone a real a true title challenger type. This was the fight. You beat Imavov, you actually might get a title shot next, or you're at worst you're 1 away. At absolute worst.
Yeah.
You beat Imavov, at worst you're 1 away.
In front of a crowd, you set yourself up to be on that stage to have a big moment.
Exactly.
You'd rather be an Apex main event guy.
That's what he's been. He's been he's been the Apex main event, the card that no one cares about. That's the guy. That's Brendan Allen. I don't know why I don't know why he wouldn't want the chance to fight a big fight main card, big crowd. Yeah. That's what people get excited for. Those are the moments. You go knock out Imavov or tap out Imavov, you probably do get the next title shot. It makes 0 sense to me. 0.
The main event thing is strange too, because I I understand sometimes the perspective of fighters that are like, hey, I won this fight, and this fight, so I deserve this fight. And it's like, a lot of the time it's like, we understand that, but it's the fight business. Like, it doesn't always work out that way. It's if the fans want to see someone else in that fight more, you're shit out of luck. When it's this and you're like, I deserve a main event, it's like, well, that doesn't even really compute. You could say I deserve Imavov and nobody but Imavov, and I'd be like, fuck right, Brendan Allen, you do deserve Imavov. Now you're demanding a placement on the card. Like, bro, what? Like, people would, like, for example, just to bring up a random fight, like Ian Gary and MVP, that fight in terms of excitement is 10 times, 100 times Imavov and Brendan Allen in terms of what the fans think of it. But it's, kicks off the pay-per-view. You didn't hear them for a second being like, we should be above fucking Maria Buena Silva on this card. Like, you just don't care. You realize that's an opportunity. They're putting you on a stage.
I cannot believe what he was saying. And also, I think a great look into fighters' popularity, there's two things. One, I look at followers. I know that's not perfect, but Brendan Allen has 47,000 followers, which is not great for a UFC fighter that's asking for a main event. And then it's different if he was like this unbelievable knockout prospect that's on the rise. That's not what he is. And second, if you ask people around this office, who's Brendan Allen? I think a lot of people would be like, Brendan Allen? Are you talking about Braylon Allen, the Wisconsin running back that got drafted by the Jets? Like, nobody in this office, and we have some pretty decent-sized MMA fans for the general public. No one really would know who he is. I mean, he's just it's crazy logic, and he'll just go fight in the Apex at 10 a card that starts at 10 p.m. that is on a like really loaded college football Saturday. Like, that's just what he'll be.
Yep.
Any other big fight announcements or news? I'm trying to think back. Poirier's on the MMA Hour as we speak, I believe. And when I saw that he was going on the show, I was like, oh, I wonder if he's going to like officially announce a retirement or anything. But as of right now, I don't believe he has.
Have we? It's been a little bit. I was going to say a lot of the 305 fight announcements. Have we had those all been like announced since we last recorded?
I don't think so. I think a lot of them are fresh. Yeah.
Because that was the ones I was going to say, like Kai France, Steve Erceg is official. Love that fight.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that
That's
fight.
That's a great fight. Yeah.
I think Tuivasa Rosenstrike might have been announced already. That one's been there for a little bit.
We also did that press conference with our last, right? They did that in between our last show and this one, the presser with Izzy and DDP.
Yes,
they did. There wasn't anything that crazy. There was like a DDP said that he was like Izzy was like, don't kiss me, and DDP said, I'm not going to, I'm not your dog. Like, it was there's been some weird, I mean, I will say though, I'm really excited for this fight. It's a big time fight. I feel like the hate isn't as big as it once was because it's kind of taken some time to fester. And Drickus has kind of been like, this is what I meant by my I'm the real African champion comment. And it's kind of like settled down, but it could steam up a little bit in the upcoming weeks before this fight. So, and if there's no hatred, it's still a dynamite fight. I mean, these two guys are just dynamite.
And there's been a lot back and forth on Twitter between Sean Strickland and MMA fans of people being like, fight Robert Whittaker, and him just like repeating what he's been saying of like, I'm not fighting Whittaker. I beat both these guys. I deserve a title shot. I deserve the next one. I'm waiting out for it. Also, someone in the chat, N4, said, how about DDP on the Max Singer? Guy's got some pipes. I did see that clip. He does have some pipes. I'm sure they help him out with auto-tune and shit, but like, I was pretty impressed by DDP. Did you see that, Ev?
I saw that he was on it. I didn't actually see the video of him singing.
He was pretty damn good.
Good for him, I guess. I don't mind DDP. Yeah. Definitely not.
We got a lot of chewy-wees in the chat. Shout out Hot Billy. That was, oh my God, that's taken over the UFC by storm. That's like the UFC's new Baba Booey. It's fucking crazy. Everyone at UFC 303, chee wee wee. Everyone. Kids had shirts. Like he came out at UFC X to do like some media, which I put in for him, and I was like, we got to get a chee wee wee on the spinning back fist. And like we were about to get him, and they were like, all right, he's got to go. I was like, oh fuck. But I'm telling you, this guy's a superstar with the little kids. Little kids, chee wee wee merch, chee wee wee hat. He's screaming it at him. Crazy.
Greatest turnaround, I think, in modern UFC like a PR history. People hated, like they didn't hate him, but they were like, oh, he fell off. He was this 18-year-old megastar, and then he lost, and then he didn't fight in Mexico City. Who cares about him? Then he wins. He submitted Ricky Tercios, and then he just said, "Oh, knockout."
Remember, he knocked out Terrence Mitchell,
and then he stopped. Right? Then he stopped Tercios, right?
Yeah,
recently, yeah.
He's come back, and he just said "Chi Wee Wee," and everyone loves him. Good for him. That's awesome. Chi Wee Wee has taken over the UFC universe. We may get some good prices on him to fade him, though. I will say that.
Yeah. Anything else before we get into this Denver card?
Oh, just
Connor's back training. He's back sparring.
I would say just because it was happening almost like as we started recording, Poirier is on he's on the MMA Hour like in person, like he's in New York. And he was talking about the Chandler, how like him and Chandler were having a little back and forth on Twitter. And he like low-key roasted Chandler. Not even roast him. I guess not even roast him. He just was like, bro, like, because on the one he said he said something responding basically being like, we good. And he was like, bro, like, what do you mean we? Who's we? He was like, you have one UFC win. He was like, what do you mean we? He has two for the record. But he said he said one. He has two. But he basically was like, I've been in the UFC since 2011. Like, who, like, basically, like, shut up. Like, just like, it was kind of funny, like the way he just was like, bro, like, who are like,
Poirier has no time for him.
Talking? Yeah, like he's like, who are you talking about? He's like, I just choked you out. Like, shut up.
Poirier hates Chandler. Like that is like a true hate.
He called him Muscle Milk Mike, which I think is a decent.
That is funny.
That's
like a Trump nickname.
There's this clip on TikTok of Poirier discussing Chandler, and I think it was just like in this airport, and he just roasts him to the point of it takes him like 8 words, and it's just so quick, and you're right, he has no time for him. But one other thing, we had the whole like Chandler that he said, I've been told if I'm not fighting Conor at the Spear, I'm fighting Islam for the belt, which would be just oh my God. Like, I mean, Islam's going to have like an unbelievable, if he fights Islam's going to have an unbelievable run of defending his belt at 155 pounds. But I really hope it's just Conor at the Spear. And then we are continuing to just kind of wonder what's going to be in the Spear. It's just, it's bizarre. We're close.
Ilya is annoying the shit out of me. Everything Ilya Topuria has done since winning the title has been so annoying. The way he's handled Max, the way he's handled the BMF title, the way he's just a Conor McGregor Muppet baby now, and he's just trying to be Conor McGregor at every turn. Just fight Conor, fight Max, and get on with it.
Hot Billy, bro.
Hot Billy.
Hot Billy's the best. Honestly, I feel like I was gonna say something with some substance, then Hot Billy just took my breath away. Topuria. I just don't know if he understands the landscape of like who Max Holloway is. We're like, bro, like we're not buying this like he doesn't want to fight thing. Like we know he wants to fight.
Yeah.
Like we know he wants to fight. He would fight you tomorrow if you'd signed the contract. Like that's established, like written in stone, however you want to describe it. So Topuria playing this card like he's ducking me. Bro, he got on the mic after the fight and begged for you. And you had a silly look on your face when he did it.
Yeah.
And listen. And the crazy part of it is I'm saying all this in the same breath. I think Taporia wins, but
yeah, I probably do too.
I think he probably wins, but I just don't understand why he's trying to play this game with the like the public narrative that like Max Holloway of all people on planet Earth is ducking him.
Yeah.
Just insanity.
There was
insanity.
a meme from Mr. Testosterone. It was like the meme of Max. It said, "Brother, when are we fight?" And then it stops. And then it's Taporia. It's like, guys, Max Holloway doesn't want to fight me.
All right, let's get into
right before
Hamzat scamming everyone.
Hamzat did the classic scam. He created a crypto coin, called it Smash, and then within 24 hours, all the money was gone. Yeah. Like it's just, this is something that happens a lot with celebrities, like kind of like B-list, C-list. They'll create these ones. I think Floyd Mayweather's done it. Caitlyn Jenner did it. It's happens a lot, but it was the most obvious pump and dump of all time. I can't believe people still fall for it. I hope it was worth it, Hamzat. We are getting to a point now where it's like I don't know what to say about the guy. I mean, I guess it's kind of like, like for me personally, this is kind of ironic because I was like, oh, he's hanging out with like a warlord. It's like, oh, no big deal. But when he scams his audience with the crypto scam, I'm like, fuck this guy, man. He's such a scumbag. But I just want to see him fight. Like, come on, dude. Let's get going.
Yeah.
Like enough.
He
probably made $50,000 on it.
That's crazy. He feels like he's starting to turn into a what could have been.
Yep.
I don't know if he'll ever get there. Let's talk about this Denver card. Lot of fights that were, supposed to happen, canceled, gone back, now added. On Google and DraftKings, they each have different fights kicking off the card, probably because the one just got added, right? Evan Elder just got added and Darius Flowers. So as of right now, Google lists that as the first fight of the night. This just got made. It's pretty crazy.
I don't even think I don't know if there's a line on it yet. Even
there's not lines because it just came out. Like I'm surprised they even booked this. Like some people were saying, like they wanted to have 12 fights instead of 11, but like why? We've had 11 fight cards in the past.
I guess maybe I was gonna say just trying to guarantee like if they lose one because I don't think they really go under 11. Like 11 is kind of like their minimum.
Yeah.
So I feel like they were trying to just make sure.
And you sold tickets to this one. Yeah.
Live crowd. And this is like a fine fight. I mean, I think it kind of goes one way or another. Like Evan Elder just kind of takes over, or Darius Flowers finds a big knockout. We saw Darius against Michael Johnson recently, and he just kind of like didn't do much. Elder's had a lot of decent fights, but like a lot of losses. This is a decent fight. I think I'd probably lean Elder, but it really depends on the price. Like I mean, I would love Elder at underdog, but I don't think we will get that. So I would probably pass. But it's a fine fight, I think. Darius Flowers said after his last fight against Michael Johnson, he was like, I really like need to go back to the drawing board. Like I didn't go for it. I was fighting hesitant. So maybe even fight doesn't go the distance here.
Yeah, I kind of agree with the same with Jack. I would need to see the line, obviously, but just like if you told me just pick the fight, I would pick Elder.
Yeah. I didn't like Flowers' fight against Michael Johnson at all.
Even against, Jake Matthews, who I think is like pretty decent. Matthews like had his way with him.
Yeah.
And then we've got Josh Fremd versus Andre Petrosky. This is the first fight there is a line for, and it's pretty much even. Fremd is minus 115, Petrosky minus 105. Close fight. I think the line's probably right in that Fremd should be favored. I look at it and say Fremd should probably win that fight, but I don't know.
I kind of like the unders here. I also like maybe Fremd late. We have to remember this is at elevation, and
point.
And Petrosky, like, let's not forget, like, that fight in an MSG a few years ago. I remember looking at him, like, I thought he was going to die in the cage. He found a way to win that fight. But now this is something, he did go 3 rounds with GM3. He didn't look great in that 3rd round. So maybe this is one of those classic fights that shouldn't go the distance, but it finds a way. But this is elevation. Very funny quote from Tracy Cortez. I know we'll talk about her later. She said it took her 2 days to get used to the elevation of Denver. I think Brian Thomas quote tweeted, and it was like, at Denver's elevation, per the science, it would take to fully acclimate to it. It would take you about 7 weeks. Tracy Cortez has the greatest adaptability to elevation we've ever seen.
She had an interesting quote this week about CTE. Did you see that?
Yeah, she didn't know what it was, right?
She had no idea what it was, which is like a little scary that like
that's
a UFC
ideal
fighter
CTE,
could have no idea
though.
what CTE is.
She just doesn't know. That's
blissfully unaware. Like ignorance is bliss. Yeah.
It's like she'll never convince herself she has CTE. She's just like, oh, I forgot where I put my keys. Like, she's not like, oh man, I have CTE. She's just like, I forgot.
True. Just getting forgetful. Yeah. It's a little scary. What do we got next on this card? Oh, Luana Santos versus Maria Agapova. And Luana is a huge favorite. She's minus 380.
This may be fight of the night. Maria Agapova. Maria Agapova is one of the most fascinating UFC fighters of all time, in my opinion. She went from the hype of hype. She was minus 2,000 against I forget who, but she lost. Eubanks, I think it was. It was like a Saturday afternoon card in 2020. And ever since, she just finds ways to lose. And on top of that, she's also claimed that she has no place to live. She has no money. She has no food. She said she almost got sex trafficked. But she's fighting this weekend at UFC Denver. I think we have to take her.
I mean, listen, Jack, you want to sell me to bet on a +300 underdog. It's that they're homeless, that they can't eat. She needs this win money. She needs it.
And she's long. She's long as fuck. And Luana Santos's way to win is just takedowns. She spams takedowns. Now, that's how Maria Agapova has lost a lot in her career. That being said, maybe you never know. She kicks into the 6th gear, fine, and she has the advantage on the feet, +300. You don't want to miss out on the Maria Agapova comeback train. It's literally a winner or homeless situation from Ann4 in the chat. It's a winner homeless, and I'm with it. Come on, Maria, let's go.
It's a crazy way to sell a fight.
I'm at one
winner
unit,
homeless.
1 unit Agapova +300. Let's bring it home.
Eubanks, whatever happened to Eubanks? She was just gone out of the UFC since 2021.
Well, she beat Maria. She ruined the Maria Agapova hype train. Like, they were like, you got to go.
All right. What do we got next now? Montel Jackson versus Damon Blackshear. Montel Jackson minus 142. Damon plus 120. Do we take a shot on Blackshear there?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
Right?
I had it circled. Yeah. I like him as a dog here. I think he's got potentially grappling upside. I don't think Jackson. Yeah. I think he's got grappling upside, jiu-jitsu upside.
And Blackshear took Mario Batista to the fucking point of death. I mean, obviously Batista won, and I think he won rightfully so. But yeah, Blackshear, I'm impressed by him. He's a gamer, and I like gamers with. Now, here's the thing: like, Montel Jackson's wrestling is pretty good, but I do think he's worth a shot at plus 120.
In the chat, they're saying he's got all-time low fighter IQ. He's got the sloppiest twister in history, but I don't know. On 3 days' notice, Blackshear fought the previous weekend. Oh yeah, like
Yeah,
when he hit
he
the
got the
back in the
twister,
day.
and then he got the twister, and then he fought Batista literally the next weekend.
Yeah. All right, then we've got Jasmine Jasuda Vicious versus Fatima Klein. Klein.
I think she's making her
Klein?
debut, I believe.
I don't know.
She is.
She is.
She has some hype, man. She has some hype.
I was going to
Honestly,
say
the fact
she's
that
at even odds for this fight.
That's what I'm saying. The fact that the line's a pick 'em against Jasmine is pretty. They got obviously the odds makers feel highly of her as well. Like, Jasmine got a lot of wins in the UFC, some like decent ones too.
And she's not like a Contender Series person, right? She's completely new.
I don't remember her from Contender Series.
No, I think she's
she didn't fight
new
in Contender. Yeah, she's only 6-0.
She's some serious jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, a lot of grappling fights.
The only thing here that's kind of stopping me from believing in her is hype prospect comes in on short notice against a girl that's big. Like Jasmine's a big girl and she takes girls down. She uses her body very well. She could get she could kind of get dominated, but at -110, I don't know. She's kind of catching my eye. I feel as if, I don't know. I wish I got her underdog price though. So, but that's where I'm at right now from that perspective of looking at this fight. I mean, she has some serious hype, and I'm excited to watch her fight. But Jasmine's not an easy task.
No. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm torn betting wise. I kind of agree with Jack where it's like everything in me wants to take Jasmine, but the fact that they're giving her Klein this much respect definitely gives me like some pause.
Yeah. The next fight should be awesome. Joshua Van versus Charles Johnson. This is the prelim headliner, I believe. It'll kick into the main card next. Joshua Van -218, Charles Johnson +180. I do like Joshua Van in the fight. Maybe a finish too. I could see this one getting finished quick.
I like Josh. Go ahead, Jack. I have a feeling what you're gonna say, but I'm curious.
I don't know exactly what to do with this fight. They kind of are similar fighters. They drop first rounds and then they kind of come on late. I have a feeling this goes the distance, though, Robbie.
Do you? Yeah, Charles Johnson's just getting old. I don't know. Fight old. I mean,
the over 2.5 is -360.
Oh, so they really think
the odds makers very much agree with you, Jack.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Johnson's pretty. I was gonna say thing Jack, where it's like stylistically they're similar. Johnson's pretty long, like tall, long guy for the weight class. Van's is really young, so that's what it's kind of like the mix of like which usually go with the young bull. Even like just historically in MMA, that's having like the big age gap is beneficial for the younger guy. It's tough because I don't know if I want to like. I think Van probably does win. I like Van. I believe in his like hype going forward. Even I think he has a very bright future, but kind of a weird. Not a weird stylistic matchup. I'm kind of like, I guess I'm like a little surprised at the matchmaking. Like at this point, I guess I thought they'd go with someone a little different. But I think Van wins. I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't think I'll probably bet it though, to be honest.
And shout out Van for going through hell to get this fight. He had 4 different opponent cancellations before this fight. He was supposed to face Lucas Rocha, then Sumarati, then Tatsuro Taira, then Ulan Bankov, then Charles Johnson. That was the progression of this fight getting made.
I can't wait to watch Sumarati fight again.
Guy Tibetan Eagle.
Classic.
He's a legend. That guy goes in there to die.
And it'll be the first time we see Van in a while since January.
No, I will say Van is I agree with that. He's a great prospect. It's just this is a tough fight for him. But I do see I understand the line. This feels to me like a 29-28 could be a really close fight. Which kind of like means I should probably take Johnson, but I'll think about it a little bit more.
And then the main card, UFC Denver, kicks off with Cody Brundage and Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Cody Brundage plus 140. Al Hassan minus 166. It is a tough fight for Brundage for sure. Is he coming off a loss too?
To Bo Nickel.
Yes, duh. Which it's a loss, but it's not the worst loss in the world. He made it through the first round in that fight. Maybe it's just the spinning back fist bias, but I'm going to take a shot on Cody in this one.
I'll tell you what, Bob, I kind of want to too. I really do. And it's not even like I just think it's too, I just think this fight has just like meme written all over it. I think just someone's getting clipped here probably. But it's also crazy because we've seen Al Hassan, however you say it. We've seen him kind of change a little bit where he was such like a first round knockout or bust guy. We've seen him kind of like open up a little more, like do some wrestling and stuff like that. But Brundage also has a lot of pop in his hands too. And he can wrestle a little bit as well. So I kind of like Brundage at the dog price.
First ever guest for us, right?
Yes, sir.
Jack, what do you think?
It's tough because I think I like Abdul here a little bit, but it's up to minus 166. He's 66. He's 38 years old. And I would look at Abdul as someone that feels he has a durability edge over Brundage. But then again, he's 38. He's fighting at elevation. He's kind of had some moments throughout his career that has really left you wanting more, desiring more. Maybe you just kind of like look at this fight as something that is you parlay the under 2.5. But yeah, I may not. I may pass because I lean Abdul, but it's up to minus 166, and my concerns kind of outweigh. Because why I don't like Cody that much is he just finds ways to lose. He also finds ways to win, but he kind of like Eb said, he's kind of a meme fighter. Like he against Rodolfo Vieira, he was fighting so well, and then he gets reversed and he gets choked out. Like there's just he finds ways to lose. But is Abdul the guy to get that victory? I don't know.
Yeah. Then Christian Rodriguez will take on Julian Arosa. And I don't know if the bout order is correct. It's different on DraftKings and Tapology and Google and all of that, but I assume it's similar. Christian Rodriguez minus 205, Julian Arosa plus 170. Rodriguez coming off a couple wins, right? Back-to-back wins. Yeah, or more than that. He's on a 4-fight win streak.
Did you see?
Yeah, my boy texted me. I saw he just said Dutch in all caps, so I knew.
The Dutch are
goal. You guys get a goal?
Yes.
Yep. 7 minutes in.
Nice. Netherlands and
big
England today in the Euro.
Huge soccer guy.
Huge, yeah. I was thinking, Ev, if you told yourself in like 2018, you're going to be like betting on the Euros, you're going to be huge into soccer, and MMA is going to be like one of, if not your favorite sport, like you would probably be stunned.
Nah, because I just love to bet so much. And you told me I was definitely betting like random day soccer in 2018 as well, for sure. So yeah, honestly, probably not that surprised. And I was definitely an MMA fan at that point as well. Not like probably quite as big as I am now, but
just die hard. Like you pay attention to the fights now, like as much as any MMA fan does, I feel like.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I would say so. I'm just always such a sports guy through and through. I need it. Only thing that I like.
How do you feel about this Arosa fight, Juicy J?
C-Rod all day.
Yeah, I think it's the bounce back. The what was it? He lost to Delgarian, right? That was the last one.
No, he beat
him. No.
No, he's on a streak.
Why was I for
because Delgarian almost killed him.
Beat him,
and then
split decision.
That's what it was. I was on Delgarian.
Me too.
That's what it was. Okay.
It should have been a draw. Should have been a draw.
I agree. But no, I like C-Rod here a lot. I was looking at sub plus 650. I might little sprinkle on, but I think parlay piece. I think even like finish plus 180. I think I'm going to be on. I definitely like C-Rod a lot here. I'm a big fan of Juice J. I like watching him fight, but I think he's a guy that definitely like he's finishable.
Yeah, he
Like
gets finished.
I just think, and I think C-Rod's is probably more well-rounded. Yeah, I like him here to get it done. I feel pretty like one of my more like confident thoughts on the card.
Up next, we've got Gabriel Bonfim versus Ange Lusa. Bonfim minus 340. That's probably right as well. Bonfim is coming back. He just lost first time, right?
It was to Dalby.
Yeah, with the knees, right? Yeah. Yeah. This I feel like this one's a no-brainer, right?
I guess
no.
I like a shot at Ange Lusa a little bit. Like nothing crazy.
Really?
I'm just not.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge believer in Bonfim. Like I don't think he's anything special. It wouldn't shock me at all if this go. The way I envision this fight going, it being just like close, maybe like Bonfim having some moments. But I think Lusa can maybe get him with volume. I think his striking might even be a little bit better potentially. And I feel like this goes to decision, and we're sitting there. It's like close call. And anytime if I feel that way, and Luce is sitting there plus 270, I feel almost obligated if I feel it's going to be a close fight. And Bonfim, I just saw the way the way he just faded in that Dalby fight. And now we're in Denver.
That's a good point.
Even maybe even like some Lusa like round 3 might be worth a little something. But I think Lusa maybe even comes on late. But yeah, I kind of like taking a shot at Lusa here.
I don't hate it either. Lusa has shown some pretty good takedown defense, and he's a big guy. I don't hate it. It's a big number. Bonfim is he's good, but it's an interesting.
I don't think he's a title contender, but I think he's a good fighter.
But Ange Lusa, like I'm kind of I'm a little bit surprised by looking at that number right now of over 1.5. It's minus 166. Like I feel like that should be higher. I mean,
yeah, I'd probably agree.
Ange Lusa's never been finished. Obviously, he had that situation with Brian Battle when it was declared a no contest, but that was in round 2. And Bonfim, like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just looking at that as a little bit of a, like, as we're discussing this, it's like, oh, potentially this could be a, like, I guess you do look at Bonfim, and he finished Lazaz in round 1. He finished Trevin Giles in round 1, and then Dalby finished him in round 2. But Luce's a tough guy to get out of there.
Yeah. Luce's weirdly had some, like, obviously the battle thing. I'm a big battle guy, so we were anti him that day. But I mean, even prior to that, like even McKee, who I don't even think he has a win in the UFC yet, but I actually, weirdly enough, for someone I think about as highly McKee as I can with him having a win in the UFC. Even a contender series, like he was in like a competitive fight with JDM. And listen, that's 4 years ago now, probably. I get it. But I think Luce, like if you just purely like stand up striking, if he's able to like not basically get like just choked out, like Jack pointed to, if he doesn't just get like submitted in round 1, I think he's super live here.
Yeah,
and I think he's gonna be able to avoid that. That's my opinion.
Yeah. So, and So we're on the same page here. I agree.
Interesting. John Silva makes his return to the UFC just 2 weeks after his last fight to take on Drew Dober. I declared myself on the post-show of 303 just an anti-Silva guy. I was just like, who does this guy think he is, with his crying, with his entrance, with his walkout, with his weight miss, all of it. But, I mean, credit to him for coming back with 2 weeks later. Like, I don't know if it helps or hurts. Obviously, he probably just stayed in camp, stayed, active. He's got the confidence of that win, riding high still. It was just 2 weeks ago. It feels like it was yesterday. Then again, you're going in there against Drew fucking Dober, who is fresh and is, ready to take a head off. I think I lean Dober. I don't know how much of that is just I hate this John Silva guy. But, like, I genuinely do think Dober is going to beat him.
So, John Silva. Now, this last fight against Jourdain, he kind of took a more measured approach, but I've always had a few cardio concerns with him. He's fighting at elevation. He fought 2 weeks ago. Dober's gonna I like what you know what's preventing me
Like Silva
from
didn't take
not just
damage. I don't think Jourdain really like damaged him at all in that fight.
the only thing that's preventing me from really loving Dober here is like, why is it minus 110?
Yes, I was
I
gonna
know
say
they're
this.
even. It's even odd.
Couldn't agree more.
Like,
I
it's
was
just
literally thinking the same thing when I look at it. I'm like, this is Dober easy. But then I'm like, hold on. I'm like, am I the sucker? Like, am I the
yeah.
dummy? That's like, oh, Dober minus 110, duh. Submit. And then, but I'm like, like you said, Silva, Carter's not great. He's a 145er that just fought 2 weeks ago. He missed weight. I mean, Dober's a legit vet. Like his win. I mean, Silva's win was against Weston Wilson, and then Jourdain, which Jourdain is like a fine win. You knocked out Jourdain in the second round, like solid win. But I mean, Dober is a different guy. Up a weight class, like definitely better chin, like bigger, stronger, definitely more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll definitely be on Dober here for at least like a play. And if he loses, he loses. But I just mentally can't. I just don't understand why. I thought Dober was going to be minus at least like 160 here.
Yeah, that's so funny. You said minus 160. I would have been like, I would have loved Dober minus 150 more so than I love Dober. Oh man, did England get a penalty?
The chat.
I think they just scored. Harry Kane scored a penalty.
Oh damn.
It's okay. We're still alive. It's 1-1.
I met
it
that
happens.
guy. I met him.
You
and
met
his
Harry
wife.
Kane?
Harry Kane?
Yeah. I was
That's
there
a
for
pretty
Dave's
big deal.
pizza review with him.
That's a pretty big deal, Bob. He's
I know.
That's a big guy.
He's like Mr. England, right? Like, yeah. Is he the captain?
He's the captain. He's awesome. I mean, he was at my favorite club. He he left, but he gave a lot to the club that he was at. I would say
very nice guy. Him and his wife. His wife was telling me about like he taught some soccer seminar in New Jersey, so we were sharing New Jersey stories.
That's phenomenal. Back to Dober. Yes, I think I'm going to end up taking Dober. Maybe even the under 1.5. But then again, no, actually, maybe even the under 1.5. Yeah,
I like the under on Dober. Yeah.
Yeah, it's minus 110.
And then the co-main event. We've got Muslim Salikov versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. Ponzinibbio minus 192, Salikov plus 160. This is one where I like, just like personality fighters who you like watching. Probably like Ponzinibbio more, but I actually think I like the underdog in this fight. It just seems like one of those fights for Ponzinibbio where he's off the Kevin Holland loss. Before that, he beat Alex Morono. Before that, lost to Michel Pereira, lost to Jeff Neal, lost to the Leech. It just seems like one of those fights that he's primed to lose. And I could be wrong, but seeing him at almost minus 200 for this fight worries me.
They both are old and have a lot of losses lately.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I think this might be outside of maybe like some of the early girl fights or like the Jasmine like Klein fight. Just feel like I have no feel for this fight. Just feel like I just have no idea.
Salikov's another one of these fighters that like his last fight he was winning until he just, if I recall correctly, died.
Randy Brown,
Randy
Brown.
Yeah,
he was fighting really well against Randy Brown. Then Randy Brown just boop, he was dead. And then Salikov, he was also fighting really well against when we were in Long Island 2 summers ago, Jingliang Li, and then he just died. But then again, he went the distance with Nicholas Dalby. Like he just is like, you never know what kind of what Muslim Salikov you're gonna get. I don't hate him. He's pretty good on the feet. And then Santiago, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of thinking I may be on Salikov. Maybe I'm getting tricked by this number though.
I almost feel the same way just based on it's almost like I just think it's such like just kind of like a toss up. So like almost I'm saying like I was saying that loud before. I'm like in my head I'm like if I'm saying it's a toss up then I should probably like the guy that's plus 160.
Yeah.
And Salikov, let's think about it. He has decent takedown defense, and then he's pretty good on the feet. I know he's a little bit older, but Santiago, I mean, just like Santiago's like he's just I don't really know what to say about him. He
back in the day it seemed like he was gonna be like something. And he kind of just
had some very fascinating fights. Like even the Alex Morono fight back in 2022, in December of 2022, he was fighting so well. He was losing that fight like 30-27. Then he just booped them. I guess that's my concern with Salikov. But Ponzinibbio, like both these guys may be washed. So it's like, why not take plus 160?
Dude, Ponzinibbio started his UFC career 10-1 with wins over Sean Strickland, Court McGee, Gunnar Nelson, Mike Perry, Neil Magny. Like this guy was just fucking on the rise. And then that was pretty much it. Like it's he
was
Neil Magny
when the leagues knocked him out, he was ranked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
Like he was legit. Like he was definitely like on a. Because I remember even the Baeza fight. I remember was a really close fight. That was like a good fight.
Yep.
Was it there was even the Jeff Neal fight? I remember being like pretty like.
The next two were split decision losses. It's tough.
He's just getting old. I mean, they're both just old.
Yeah. The main event was supposed to be Macy Barber and Rose Namajunas. Now it's Rose Namajunas and Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez on short notice is plus 180. Namajunas minus 218. I feel like maybe it should be even wider. This one just screams that Rose is going to use her experience. I think she's better than her pretty much everywhere. Will she get a finish? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say Rose finishes her in this fight.
Yeah, I like Rose too. I also don't love short notice and elevation for Tracy. And if I remember correctly, I think Rose trains at elevation.
She does. She lives in Denver.
So I like Rose. Yeah, I agree with everything that you said, Robbie. I second it. I guess the only spot that Tracy could be better is on the ground, but Rose isn't awful on the ground. It's not like this massive gap.
No. Yeah, she's good.
No, I agree. I like Rose a lot here. I think it's level, just such a levels fight. She's fought in the who's who in both divisions. I mean, Cortez doesn't have like any wins, even like remotely comparable to what Rose has done. Even just the fight she's had. I mean, I like Rose a lot. Even she's plus 275 by finish, 5-round fight. Like you said, in elevation, she trains in elevation. I like Rose. I'll be on Rose, I think, both ways.
There you go. I'm surprised Hot Billy isn't making crazy jokes about Rose and her coach right now. All right. That was UFC Denver. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the preview show, and we will see you for the recap show. We'll talk to you later.